President Donald J. Trump announced that Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro has been captured, following a successful overnight U.S. military operation in Caracas, Venezuela's capital. Speaking at a midday news conference from his Mar-a-Lago residence in Palm Beach, Florida, Trump said, "Last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces carried out a precise military operation in the heart of Caracas. It targeted a heavily fortified location to bring outlaw dictator Nicolás Maduro to justice." Trump was joined by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary General of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolás Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
Both Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores de Maduro, were taken into custody and will now face criminal proceedings in the United States. Their charges stem from a 2020 indictment by the U.S. Department of Justice, which includes multiple federal offenses such as narco-terrorism and drug trafficking. Earlier, Trump shared a photograph on social media showing Maduro blindfolded and handcuffed aboard the USS Iwo Jima, a U.S. Navy amphibious assault ship. Trump confirmed that the United States has assumed temporary control over Venezuela to ensure a safe and proper transition of power. "We will run the country until such time as we can guarantee a secure and judicious transition," Trump stated, emphasizing that the U.S. cannot allow someone without the interests of Venezuelans in mind to seize power.
"We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition." So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious, because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. Had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
The dramatic overnight operation included strikes on military bases and a direct raid on Maduro's compound, where both he and his wife were captured. They have been flown to the U.S., where New York authorities have charged them with weapons and drug-related offenses. In addition, Trump indicated that U.S. oil companies will move into Venezuela, which holds the world's largest oil reserves, to repair the country's degraded oil infrastructure. He also warned that further military action could occur if necessary.
We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually. This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore.
Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez denounced the U.S. intervention on state television as brutal aggression and demanded the immediate release of Maduro and his wife, calling Maduro the only president of Venezuela. The U.S. military reportedly stormed Maduro's home at 2:01 a.m. local time, 06:01 GMT, cutting power across Caracas. According to Trump, Maduro attempted to enter a steel-fortified safe room but was unable to close the door. Delta Force, the U.S. Army's elite counterterrorism unit, captured him with assistance from a CIA source inside the Venezuelan government. Over 150 aircraft were deployed to transport the extraction team safely into the capital, and Trump confirmed that no U.S. forces were killed, with only a few minor injuries reported. Maduro and his wife were taken aboard the USS Iwo Jima, then flown to Stewart Air National Guard Base in New York, and later transported to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Airstrikes around Caracas provided cover for the operation. Global reactions were swift. Many world leaders urged respect for the rule of law, while others condemned the U.S. action as unacceptable. Latin American nations responded quickly. Right-leaning governments expressed support for the U.S., while left-wing countries such as Mexico, Chile, Cuba, and Uruguay criticized the intervention. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz called Maduro a leader who led his country to ruin and criticized Venezuela's last election as rigged, highlighting Maduro's role in regional instability and drug trafficking. Israeli officials praised the U.S. action, with Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar calling the operation a sign of leadership of the free world, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulating Trump for his bold and historic leadership on behalf of freedom and justice. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha also welcomed the outcome, citing Maduro's disregard for human rights and oppressive rule. Elon Musk praised Trump's actions as a win for the world and a clear message to evil dictators. Maduro appeared in a Manhattan federal court, pleading not guilty to charges including narco-terrorism, cocaine importation conspiracy, and possession of machine guns and destructive devices. His wife, Cilia Flores, also pleaded not guilty. Maduro, shackled and wearing prison garb, claimed he had been kidnapped and asserted that he remains Venezuela's president. Dozens of protesters gathered outside the courthouse, both supporting and opposing Maduro. Hours later in Caracas, Delcy Rodriguez was sworn in as Venezuela's interim president, expressing support for Maduro but not challenging U.S. authority. President Trump's operation marks a significant foreign policy achievement, removing Nicolás Maduro, a socialist leader accused of corruption, drug trafficking, and oppression, from power. Venezuelans inside the country and the millions who fled under his rule now see the possibility of a new beginning. The operation signals a potential shift for Venezuela, offering hope for justice and recovery in a country long beset by turmoil. That's all for now from Global Pulse Unplugged. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.